Here in the makeup room with Vanessa.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I am great. How are you?
I am great. Who are you making up today?
I am working on performance artist M today. So right now I just finished her eyes.
Okay. What are you using on her skin?
I'm going to be using the Iman Cosmetics skincare line. I'm going to choose the toner, which has grapefruit extracts in it, which is great because it is an antibacterial. It also firms and smooths the skin. It also has other natural botanicals as well, cucumber, chamomile, which is great for inflammation. It has aloe, which is good for hydration, so it acts as a humectant in the toner. It's also alcohol free, so it's not going to dry her skin out, and it's going to help restore her pH balance back to its normal side. Then I'm going to use the Iman Time Control All Day Moisturizer, which is going to maintain the hydrants on her skin. It also contains an SPF of 15, so it'll protect her when she's outside under the UVB, UVA rays, which still go even on an overcast day.
It's also important for me because as an African American with albinism, I can't take UV at all, so having makeup with the extra protection helps me tremendously.
Yes, it does. And the BB cream skin tone evener, which I'm going to use to just warm up the outsides of her face, also contains an SPF of 15. So it's good to have anywhere between 15 to 30 on your face. That's fine. Okay, so and that she will have between the moisturizer and the BB cream. She'll have that SPF 30 to protect her.
Carry on. Thank you. Here in the makeup room with Vanessa.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I am great. How are you?
I am great. Who are you making up today?
I am working on performance artist M today. So right now I just finished her eyes.
Okay. What are you using on her skin?
I'm going to be using the Iman.
Generations have been taught traditional ways of thinking and behaving through the process of imitation and internalization. Mem Nahadr, also known as M, is a performance artist who has introduced her audience to a new set of rules and values through her voice and person as an artist, activist, albinist, and alchemist. Newsday described her as a Gothic diva. BBC London said, "She gets the theatre of song." She's recently returned from her European tour and can be seen in Toshi Regan and Alison Miller's production, Celebrate the Great Women of Blues and Jazz here in the United States.
They glow incredibly bright. Need I say my love's misspent on angel eyes. What I did, sir.
We are thrilled and honored to have Em on our show. So please welcome Em. Hi, how are you?
Very well.
Good. Thank you so much for being on the show and allowing me a chance to get to know you and to find out what you're doing and for you to talk about, you know, all the projects that you're working on.
Well, thank you for having me.
It is certainly my pleasure. So what's new? Now, you're East Coast born, right? You were
Yes.
born over here on the East Coast.
Yes.
And your base is now in New York City, or do you travel?
Well, I travel extensively and I have projects going on in other parts of the world. So I am based in New York and in Paris.
Do you consider yourself, you know, just a U.S. citizen or more of a world citizen?
Well, I would say planet Earth, maybe even a galactic.
The galactic?
I have left the planet a few times.
Okay.
But I've had many experiences in different cultures in different countries all over the world, and I have lived abroad for a number of years. So I am a U.S. citizen, but I feel at home everywhere.
Anywhere, everywhere you go. Yeah, yeah. And so you have an extremely extensive and just impressive resume and body of work. I know you've performed, like as you said, in Europe, and you've performed in China, and written an opera.
Yes. There's another other way.
And another other way, yeah. And there's a book that's happening right now. You tell us about that.
Well, the book is entitled Soul Unsung, Reflections of the Band in Black Music Culture. It's basically a popular culture history book, and I am featured in it as a New Age soul performer. The writer, who is a BBC music journalist, his name is Kevin Legendre. He'd written this book to explain basically the threads of soul music from what we know in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and where it may have gone and who's upholding that particular mantle these days. So the writer, Mr. Legendre, chose to use my former album entitled Eclecticism as an example of where soulful music has moved. And I express my music in a soulful way, African-American soul music, but I also use electronics, live musicians, and other genres in hybrid. So I think my voice might be the most soulful part of my projects.
Right.
And the book was released just at the end of last year, and I'm very proud to be a part of Black music history.
Yeah, and your place is well deserved. And would you say the advancement in electronics and in technology has just made it better, or just different?
Better and different, both actually. You could even throw worse in as well. I mean, it's covered all the degrees, having this new way to express, but it is simply a new way to express, just as traveling from a lute to a guitar or a harpsichord
Right.
to a piano is simply a new way to express. So if
Right.
you're talented and sincere, you can take a computer and do amazing things with it. If you don't care, it's going to be noise no matter what you do with it. So for me, it's been a godsend because I've had imaginings of wanting an orchestra because I'm creating a symphony in my head, but I don't have the overhead to be able to afford that. But the electronics allow me to be able to express virtually without limit. And so for me, it's been absolutely better.
Now they say, and I've read reviews where they say that how you're able to connect gospel music, just a sound of sort of like gospel and opera, and you could make that into a cohesion, a cohesive sort of sound that's new.
Yes. Well, I, interestingly enough, do see the thread between expressing yourself in full exuberance when you're filled with the Spirit, as gospel singers do, and expressing yourself with that same excitement, although you might not label it the religious Holy Spirit, but it's still basically that same excitement when you stand at the foot of a stage as an opera diva and just express and blow at it because you mean it, because the part requires it, because it's sincere. Well, so for me, that is the commonality that allows me to execute and understand the full bravada of gospel music and the full bravada of opera. And because I love the way the both of them sound, and as a producer and songwriter, I'm able to interweave the two to my liking. Apparently they like it too.
Yeah. And it's so true how, if you look at it, how similar they are. You know, it's just, you know, in opera, you know, the diva is standing there just belting out a song, and in gospel music, the diva is standing there just belting out a song.
And if you and it's written similarly, or it has a similar vibe, they both go woo, and it's the same thing. So
yeah, and you get the emotion is the same.
Exactly.
It's it's an emotional thrill to listen to opera music and as well as gospel music too. So yeah, it's funny how
also,
it's all
a composer who I love sound, so it's all music to me. And thank God for quantum theory. It's proven it's really all frequencies and vibration. So everything that we have in the material world is really made out of sound. So I erase the boundaries of genre and embrace the boundaries of emotion. And that's how I work. Not just my music, but all of my artful creations work that way. I feel it more than I categorize it.
right. We're really feeling the music, and really, well, whatever it is, just really feeling it and feeling a part of it. And that just, and that's what we get to feel, the audience. So, so tell me about describe sort of the conversation that goes on between you and your audience or your listener. How do you envision it happening in your messaging?
Well, I guess the best way I could describe that relationship would be, interestingly enough, the audience is a voyeur to what's happening on stage. Although I'm aware that they're there, and hopefully it's a communication, actually beyond me and the audience. It's me, the audience, and then whatever spirit we both have in common. They've come to see, I've come to deliver, but in that exchange there's a third entity there, a third feeling, where we both that combination brings it to a whole new level. So from my point of view, I'm expressing my feelings and my truth, and the audience is a voyeur. They get to see me. That also allows for sincerity, because I'm not playing to the audience. If I'm not satisfied with my delivery, I feel that and I adjust that. I'm not basing that on whether they like what I do or not. So that afterward, whether the audience appreciates what I've given or not, it becomes secondary to whether or not I felt the satisfaction and the sincerity in my own delivery. if that is the case, which usually it is, I'm satisfied with how I deliver. The audience sees that sincerity, and that's what they're responding to.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, and I really, wow, I appreciate you saying that. And because that is, I think a lot of that is missing in performers today. That they play to the audience and not
Too many
with no truth. With no real truth. It's what will they like, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I think they'll like, not what I feel and what touches my heart and spirit. And and that's where that's where they say you separate the rubber from the road, so to speak. But yeah. So now there's also a film project.
Yes.
See, you touch so many mediums, from literature to print and film. Tell us about that.
Well, the film project is an auto-documentary where I am narrating a collection of information and presentation of live performance works, studio works, and special events that have happened throughout my musical career to date. There's still many things that are coming in the future,
come.
but to the most part, I've been doing this for a while and have had many, many life's experiences and milestones in my performing career. And this is a collection of those milestones that's being presented to the public in the form of a documentary. That documentary is going to be actually running the film festival circuit as well in 2014.
Okay. And who's no what?
The title.
The title, yeah.
Is Mem Nahadr, The Art of Eclecticism.
Right. Okay. Are you directing, or do you have a director, or
I'm executive producer.
you're executive producer? Good. Nice. And thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
And thank you for your performance yet to come. And we're going to get to it.
Yes.
How about that?
Perfect.
Right.
On but I'm ready to go, ready to go, ready to go, ready to go. Don't you know I'm free? Yeah.